Happy Monday! Woo! Well, 28 degrees and a wind chill of 22. That's the bad news. Good news, we're doubling up later today, getting into the low 50s. Tons of sun all day. A glorious start to the week here at the end of February. Jason?
All right, we're taking a look at MDOT 696 in Mound, where the pothole repair will continue later today. So there's that going on with the potholes popping up all over the place. Do your best to avoid them, especially when they're easier to see during dry weather, you know.
Very true.
Tiger Woods had an animal encounter on the golf course. Well, sort of.
So this is what happened in case you missed it. It was at the PGA Honda Classic down in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Take a look.
And the breeze has changed a little bit right back into the
right side. Great. Look out! Wow. What are the chances of that?
I was just thinking, what are the chances? Got to stay out of the fairway when someone's driving the ball. That bird got clipped from behind by Tiger Woods' ball, causing it to take a small little stumble, but appeared to be okay.
It helped, apparently. Tiger finished with an appropriate birdie on that particular hole. So.
He did pretty well. He was in the top 10. I think he ended up being even at the last few holes, got a couple bogeys, but nonetheless, he was in the hunt on the final day.
Whenever he's on the leaderboard, people take notice.
Yes. Justin Thomas, I think, won this time around. So 5:26 is your time, and next at 5:30, local stories from Waterford, Oxford, and Pontiac.
Plus, important new information for parents on teens and depression.
And zero tolerance. Police are not messing around with these school threats, and at least 2 students right here locally are learning that lesson the hard way. That's next.
This week, live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today at 5:30 starts now.
Learning the lesson the hard way. Today, a local teen faces some serious charges, allegedly for making a school threat.
Wow, what could be worse than a pothole? This, part of a local road collapsing in real time, washing away.
Yes, and causing some big inconveniences for folks that live in that area that take that road. Welcome to Monday, everybody. Of course, the pothole woes continue around here.
When was the last time you hit one?
Last week I had a blowout. My tire's now been repaired, but I am a very nervous driver. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
We're glad you're back on the road.
Thanks.
Brandon, what's going on weather-wise?
Well, you know, it's getting better. You know, we need these stretches of decent days as the crews get out and do the patchwork anyway. And we have that again today and tomorrow and beyond. Really not a lot of trouble this week. One day, stay tuned for that. 28 at Metro Airport. Here's our Metro zone. Troy 34, Windsor at 30, Mount Clemens 29, West Bloomfield in the low 30s there. Our South zone, we have 32 in Blissfield, 32 Monroe, 29 in Adrian. We have temperatures in the low 30s in our West zone, from Ann Arbor's 30 to Milford 30, 31 in Howell and Brighton. And up north, our numbers right now are in the lower 30s. So low 30s through 8 o'clock. Plenty of sunshine. Grab the shades, a light jacket today. You'll need it in the morning, maybe the gloves and a little scarf, but through the day we're shedding layers. 46 at noon, sunshine again all day, 51, plenty of 50s in your neighborhoods as well. We'll take a closer look at when to expect some wet weather and how about 60 degrees. I've got it for you coming up. Rhonda, in the meantime, has a look at your 4 live traffic.
Yes, I do, and we want to keep you updated with construction to repair all of those potholes out there. This is what you need to be aware of beginning at 7 o'clock this morning. Southbound side of I-75 between Adams and Long Lake, one lane will be blocked, so you can expect some delays through that stretch all day. And then the southbound side of I-75, the on and off ramps at Crooks will be closed from 7 o'clock this morning until 7 o'clock tonight.
Our top story this half hour, better safe than sorry. That's the way local police are dealing with a growing number of school threats.
Yes, there have been at least a half dozen in just the last 2 weeks here locally. And while most are not credible, police and school districts simply cannot take any chances. So they are vetting everything and penalizing and punishing those students responsible. Nick Monticelli joins us now live with more. And Nick, police are also trying to send a message about zero tolerance and making sure that no threats are made.
The same way with drugs and guns and things like that in school zones. Good morning to both of you. As of right now, two 17s, I should say a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old have both been arrested in two separate incidents. The 17-year-old, a Milford High School student who wrote something on a bathroom wall, now charged with malicious destruction of property and maybe even more. We'll see what the court system decides. But what we're seeing now is the sheriff's department here, at least in Oakland County, they have investigated 6 or more complaints, and they are sending that message that they are not putting up with this.
Any kind of threat, any kind of concerning behavior is going to be investigated and prosecuted, period.
The Milford High School student allegedly wrote on a bathroom wall, "Don't come to school Tuesday." Deputies did not find anything suspicious on his phone or laptop and determined he did not have access to guns in his parents' safe.
We're taking a zero tolerance towards any kind of threat or any kind of statement that puts people ill at ease or actually is a direct threat against their safety.
In a separate case, Oakland County deputies arrested an 18-year-old Pontiac man for allegedly threatening a girl on Facebook. Police say he threatened to shoot her and any deputy he saw at Pontiac Middle School. Airsoft handguns and rifles with the orange safety tips removed were found later in his bedroom.
We'd rather check out 100 nothings and miss one real deal.
In Monroe, a 14-year-old Whiteford High School student was accused of making terroristic threats toward the school and threatening gestures in his classroom. He was arrested and is expected to be formally charged today.
We can't excuse dumb things in this environment that relate to safety.
And in unrelated incidents last week, Garden City and Berkeley high schools were placed on lockdown after a bullet was found in the school.
Chances are it will never happen to a school where you or your kids go. Having said that, that doesn't minimize the anxiety, the threat, the concern, or the tragedy in the situations where it has happened.
Now, for those of you watching at home or at work or anywhere right now, I want to have a quick discussion. It is a very difficult call for journalists to talk about school threats like this because we don't want to give credence. We don't want to give an elevation, so to speak, or an elevated platform to those who are calling in threats like this. But Jason, Rhonda, on the other side of that, we also had a discussion in our newsroom this morning that others need to be aware that sheriff's departments and police agencies, they're cracking down and they are not going to put up with this. So maybe if they send that message, if we help spread that word, maybe they'll stop doing it.
Absolutely. The penalty for making the threat, clearly we see, can be quite severe, and hopefully that does discourage others from really scaring their communities and the schools. Nick, thank you. We do want to get you to this story. A boy, only 11 years old, is accused of stealing a rental car. The car was stolen last Tuesday on Lancaster Lane near University Drive in Pontiac. A 33-year-old man told deputies that his rental car was missing and that he thought he left his keys in the ignition. About an hour later, he then called 911 to report that he found someone driving that rental car and had blocked the vehicle from moving. The driver then took off on foot. Again, deputies found that driver, only 11 years old, and took him into custody. Over in Waterford, several families have lost their homes after an apartment complex catches fire. The fire broke out on Sunday at the Lake Tree Apartments near Elizabeth Lake Road in Highland. Crews rescued several people from the fire, and 2 escaped the flames by jumping from the second-story balcony. 2 adults remain hospitalized, and the cause of that fire is under investigation.
Well, that was a sinkhole collapsing, actually the road collapsing into a sinkhole in Oxford. The hole opened up early Saturday morning and has caused many problems for residents nearby. Crews continue to work around the clock to try to prevent further damage. Listen.
Right now, all we're doing is trying to pump the water over the road to manage the water. Everything's flooded right now. We have 3 6-inch pumps running. They're setting up an 8-inch pump, and there's a 12-inch pump on the way.
Officials say the flooding is what caused the sinkhole to form in the first place. As for how long the intersection of Wood Trail near Watersmeet Drive will remain closed, crews say it's honestly too soon to put any sort of timetable on completing those repairs.
Get ready, things are heating up.
If you want to characterize it that way, Ms. Drew, that's fine.
After a local police chief says one thing,
we take drunk driving very seriously,
and does another.
It's about a $10,000 break.
letting a mother of a police officer off after she blows more than twice the legal limit.
Did it matter that her son was a Detroit police officer?
I think it did.
It's all caught on tape.
I had one drink.
See for yourself.
Also ahead, former First Lady Michelle Obama is planning to release something big.
What the former First Lady will be doing in November, coming up after these commercial messages.
This winter.
Well, time now for some stories. Time now for some stories you may have missed over the weekend. I know I did because I was out of town.
Yes, I can see your little sun kiss. Mexico looks good on you.
Thank you very much. It was a special day in Royal Oak for about 300 students from the Horatio Williams Foundation and Detroit Public Schools.
They had a nice African introduction and red carpet, and it was him, rapper T Grizzly, who treated all of these teens to a screening of the Black Panther movie. The students walked the red carpet, they got unlimited popcorn and drinks, and enjoyed other surprises as well. So big thanks to the rapper, and those are some lucky kids.
And the success story goes on, continues.
Yes.
Nice to see.
Well, Michelle Obama is revealing details about her memoir. The release date is scheduled for November 13th. The former First Lady also says it will be titled Becoming Michelle Obama.
The book will be published in 24 languages, and she will narrate an audiobook version.
Nice. You should look at her Instagram page as well. She kind of talks about what led up to it and what the content will be. So looking forward to reading that one.
In the making.
Oh, you better believe it. Well, in Tennessee, there is a lot of cleanup work taking place after a violent storm. The used to be someone's home right there. This is in Clarksville in Middle Tennessee. The National Weather Service has confirmed an F2 tornado touched down there. And at least 3 people were hurt and several homes destroyed by that tornado. Emergency personnel went door to door trying to find anyone that needed help. And there was a bright spot you see there. People helping with the cleanup were able to rescue this dog that had been trapped in the debris since the night before. Miraculously, he didn't even have a scratch on him. Pretty remarkable.
Nice looking pooch. And on today, puppies take center stage.
Here's a quick preview.
After the Olympics, meet another medal winner, one who has potential, devotion, and dogged determination. Our new puppy with a purpose. The training begins Monday, only on Today.
And almost as cute as that puppy. Aw.
Oh, a possum.
Look at that. Look at his claws. Like, oh, man. Let me cover that up.
Close for comfort. Yeek.
This is from CGO on Local 4 Storm Pins over in Harrison Township. And the possum looking for a snack perhaps in the middle of the day as the snow and the ice recedes here along Lake St. Clair. Man, they are what they are, and they serve a purpose somehow, some way. 28 degrees at Metro Airport. Wind chill is 23. That's our Metro zone. Our West Zone, Ann Arbor, 30. Also wind chill of 23. 31 in Pontiac. 29 right now in Adrian. To look at your forecast today, near 31 still at 8 a.m. We grab the shades. We could have the hats and gloves and coats on in the morning, but you're going to need to shed layers today. 46 at noon, a high of 51. Wall-to-wall sunshine, kind of a Monday, and a very nice end of a normally cold month. So we will take it for another few days. We're seeing temperatures building. In fact, tomorrow, high pressure still in control. We're going to see the winds out of the south cranking tomorrow, but we are protected from all of the wet weather today. Mountain snow out west and showers down again south of the Ohio River. So we are severe clear here for the next couple of days. Nothing happening today or tomorrow, and I expect 60-ish on your Tuesday with that afternoon sun. A chance for a few spotty showers on Wednesday. Shouldn't be much of anything, but we're still in the 50s. On Thursday, a front comes through that does bring a pretty good spread of rain. It should be a decent half-inch or more in a lot of locations. So we need to watch again some flood-prone areas and rivers as we head through Thursday of this week, the wettest of the days. It should be out of here, over with Friday morning. A little bit cooler the weekend ahead, but considering 37, 38 degrees is average, man, we don't have one day at or below that. You just have to wait till next week, Rhonda. Could be a return of winter by Wednesday of next week.
All right. We'll just focus on the 50s while we have them, Brandon. Thank you. We do want to get you to some construction you need to watch out for if you travel the lodge into the downtown area. It's the north and southbound side, just south of the Howard Street exit before Larned at the 4th Street overpass, where you'll find a lane block from 9 until 3. That's 9 this morning until 3 in fact, on Tuesday. And then on the east and westbound side of the Davison, if you've traveled this stretch, it is between Linwood and 14th Street, where you'll find one lane block between 9 and 3 o'clock this afternoon, all the way until Friday. It is 5:46, and Ferndale Police Chief Timothy Collins is defending his action of not ticketing a driver who blew twice the legal limit.
The chief admits that the fact that her son is a police officer was a factor in his decision, but he says there were also other mitigating circumstances. Local 4 Defender Karen Drew has the exclusive video and a sit-down one-on-one with the chief. Take a look.
It took some effort to get that videotape. At first, the Ferndale Police Department told me the video didn't exist and our Freedom of Information request was denied. But then, after our persistence, the chief contacted us saying he found the video in question.
How much have you drink today?
I had one drink.
You're watching a video clip from a traffic stop back in April of 2016. Ferndale Police Chief Timothy Collins pulls over a 70-year-old woman after rolling a stop sign. The driver then shares some information.
My son is a police officer.
Okay, where's he work at?
9th precinct.
Okay, right up on the sidewalk.
A different Ferndale officer conducts the sobriety test, where the driver failed to recite the alphabet.
PQRSTP WXYZ.
She also made mistakes counting backwards.
89, 89, 80, 89, 87, 86, 85, 84.
And when it came time for the breathalyzer,
Go and take a nice deep breath and just blow long and steady.
the results?
A bit more than one beer.
Okay, so what that mean?
And then the mic cut off. But this driver is not ticketed. Instead, the Ferndale police try to track down the woman's son. She told them he was a Detroit police officer.
Is your son currently a police officer?
Yes, at the 9th precinct.
Yeah, but are you sure that's his phone?
Minutes later,
I hope you realize the break you're getting tonight. It's about a $10,000 break.
the 70-year-old is let go. Her police officer son contacted to pick her up.
Well, you should be happy you're not hurt and nobody else is hurt. That's the most important thing.
The chief defended his decision, saying not all drunk drivers in the city of Ferndale are ticketed. He says officers can use discretion. It does leave you wondering, was this woman given a favor because her son was a police officer?
Her record did not indicate that she had any priors of this type of nature. Her son said that she doesn't have a drinking problem. She's coming back from a funeral. I felt this was a one-time where I could give somebody a break, turn her over to a responsible person, and then impound her card.
Did it matter that her son was a Detroit police officer?
I think it did, to the extent that I knew I had somebody responsible I could turn her over to.
If the chief is okay letting a mother of a police officer off after failing a breathalyzer, then some in his department are wondering why the chief recently suspended one of his own officers for giving a break to a Roseville cop suspected of drunk driving.
We take drunk driving very seriously. We say one message and it doesn't look like we're meeting what we're saying. Yeah, it's an embarrassment to the police department.
The officer was criticized for driving an individual home suspected of being drunk.
Yes.
Why was he suspended?
Because it was a poor decision.
Then why did you make a similar decision
I don't
years
find those,
before?
I don't
Because you
find
actually
those,
had the proof that this person was intoxicated. That
And-
person didn't have the proof.
and I don't find those two situations similar whatsoever.
When you were doing the sobriety, she couldn't speak, she couldn't count backwards correctly.
Oh, we're not disputing that. The circumstances of whether or not she was drunk or not was not the reason that I let her go. I think we still have to have discretion in this job, but blanket giving a break because you're a police officer in a drunk driving case is not something that can sustain itself going forward.
But to be perfectly clear, you did give this 70-year-old a break in part because her son was a police officer and you could put her in his custody.
If you want to characterize it that way, Ms. Drew, that's fine.
By the way, I was able to obtain a copy of the case report. In it, it states the officer's mother was given a PBT, but the results were not listed in the report. Spokesperson for the department told me since they knew they were not going to prosecute, they didn't list her failing results. Again, stressing officers are allowed to use their discretion. Karen Drew, Local 4 Defenders.
If you're so inclined, you can watch the entire traffic stop on our website, clickondetroit.com. Some health experts are suggesting all teens take a certain test, but not everyone may agree with that idea.
We'll have details on what we're talking about ahead after the break. Stay with us.
Tonight at 10.
Welcome back to Local 4 News today. Just before 6 a.m., we're at 28 degrees. That's cool, but it's actually still above average or normal for a late February morning. And then how about this afternoon? Tons of sun. 51 our high today. We're just getting started, Rhonda.
Well, let's take a look at the roads. If you are just getting your commute started through that Dearborn Heights, Allen Park area, this is Telegraph and I-94 at the Gateway Bridge, and you can see traffic volumes are moving along just fine through that stretch. No accidents to pass along your way. It is 5:55 here on your Monday morning, and in good health, there is important information about teen depression. The American Academy of Pediatrics is now recommending all kids over the age of 12 undergo depression screening at regular wellness checkups. If necessary, pediatricians should offer treatment plan options. Also, a treatment team that includes the patient, the patient's family, and access to mental health experts. The guidelines also recommend developing a safety plan as needed, including instructions on any firearms in the home. Some critics of the plan fear asking about depression may put the thought in a child's mind when they were not worried about it before the testing.
Well, a new season of The Voice gets underway tonight with a new coach joining Alicia Keys, Adam Levine, and Blake Shelton.
Yes, we're talking about former American Idol and hugely successful recording artist Kelly Clarkson. She is joining the coaching team as they search for America's next star. Wow, what a powerful voice. That's a preview of Kyla Jade, one of tonight's contestants, and you can watch the season 14 premiere of The Voice, starring Kelly Clarkson along with the other judges at 8 p.m. tonight right here on Local 4. It is 5:57, coming up all new at 6. Local stories from Royal Oak, Milford, and Detroit.
Plus, no surgery or exercise needed. The promising pill that could melt away the pounds.
We'll have more on that. Also, we have a Help Me Hank consumer alert while a local credit union is warning its customers about ATM fraud. What you need to know when we come right back. Stay with us in 1 minute. We'll be right back.
Vote now for live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News today at 6 starts now.
A disturbing trend. Several schools across Metro Detroit, the subject of threats from fellow students. And today, at least one of those students is going to face charges.
Plus, overcoming tragedy. More than a week after a gunman killed 17 people inside their Florida school, the school's hockey team goes from underdog to state champion. And they are excited. Rightfully so.
Yes, and what a ride. A lot of excitement the last couple of weeks with the Winter Olympics. The torch is now out, the competition now over, and Team USA is coming home with historic accomplishments in the Winter Games. Good morning, everybody. It's a Monday morning following the winter break. So for some folks, it's a back to work, back to school Monday.
I know, especially if you were on vacation in the sunshine 36 hours ago.
Yes. How has the reentry been for you so far?
Well, at least it's not coming home to a snowstorm
There you go.
or the Polar Express or whatever other.
A little bright side talk there. I like that.
I do too, and he could have, he was humble, but he could have said, look what I brought back. 50 to 60 degree temps the next couple of days to enjoy. In the meantime, it is a little cool out there, so we need to remember that or plan for that early. 28 degrees with a wind chill of 20, a little south wind at 8. So the kids will need a jacket, maybe some gloves this morning. 30-ish at the bus stops with our sunrise at 7:13 a.m. and 50s around town later today, and I think at 3 o'clock it'll be right near 50 degrees as the kids are getting out, getting off the buses. But take a look at wind chills right now. It's low and middle 20s for most areas, and again, that's what we're dressing for, but plenty of sunshine, so we're also packing the shades as we go out. Stay tuned. I've got 60, and I've got a couple of rain chances, Rhonda, to discuss.
Well, all right, Brandon, we do want to keep you updated on the area roadways. And there you see 696 at Mound, an area riddled with potholes that have been under repair the last few days. Just keep an eye out as you're traveling that stretch. So far, so good, though. It looks like drivers are moving along just fine. But you do want to be aware of construction if you travel the stretch on the eastbound side of 696 between DeQuinder and Mound. Starting at 7 this morning, you'll find the 2 right lanes blocked between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And then the 11-mile ramp onto eastbound 696 will be closed beginning at 7:30, while on the southbound side of I-75 to the north, you'll find 2 lanes blocked from Adams to Long Lake. That gets underway at 7 this morning, and the north and southbound ramps from Crooks to I-75 closed as well.
We continue to follow breaking news from Detroit's west side. That's where one man was killed in this crash. The car landing upside down in the parking lot of the Austin Market at the intersection of Joy Road and Abington. Investigators tell us the 28-year-old driver lost control, struck the wall of the building, then rolled over and landed upside down. The cause is under investigation. Local schools and police departments have been very busy lately because of a disturbing trend.
Yeah, we're talking about school threats that have been made by students or rumors that started on social media about threats against schools, and it does have police sending a very strong message. Local 4's Nick Monticelli joins us now live in Pontiac. And Nick, that message is zero tolerance, and also charges will be filed against students who violate it.
If they get caught, and that is the plan, Rhonda. Good morning to you. In fact, there was one overnight in Harrison Township at the L'Anse Creuse Public Schools, another threat that was investigated. Now, back around the area, at least 2 individuals have been arrested, one 17-year-old, one 18-year-old, in 2 separate incidents. The 17-year-old arrested goes to Milford High School. That student put a threat on a bathroom wall. But the message is clear from the Oakland County Sheriff, from other police agencies around the area. They are not going to put up with this.
Any kind of threat, any kind of concerning behavior is going to be investigated and prosecuted, period.
The Milford High School student allegedly wrote on a bathroom wall, "Don't come to school Tuesday." Deputies did not find anything suspicious on his phone or laptop and determined he did not have access to guns in his parents' safe.
We're taking a zero tolerance towards any kind of threat or any kind of statement that puts people ill at ease or actually is a direct threat against their safety.
In a separate case, Oakland County deputies arrested an 18-year-old Pontiac man for allegedly threatening a girl on Facebook. Police say he threatened to shoot her and any deputy he saw at Pontiac Middle School. Airsoft handguns and rifles with the orange safety tips removed were found later in his bedroom.
We'd rather check out 100 nothings than miss one real deal.
In Monroe, a 14-year-old Whiteford High School student was accused of making terroristic threats toward the school and threatening gestures in his classroom. He was arrested and is expected to be formally charged today.
We can't excuse dumb things in this environment that relate to safety.
And in unrelated incidents last week, Garden City and Berkeley High Schools were placed on lockdown after a bullet was found in the school.
Chances are it will never happen to a school where you or your kids go. Having said that, that doesn't minimize the anxiety, the threat, the concern, or the tragedy in the situations where it has happened.
Now, if I may, just for a moment, I want to take you kind of behind the scenes into our decision-making process on stories like this. We had a conversation in our newsroom because we don't want to give a whole lot of TV time to threats like this, because sometimes that's what the students or adults or whoever's making these threats, they're looking for. They want to get publicity. On the other side of it, when you have sheriff's departments and police agencies wanting it to be known that they are taking these very seriously and they will track these people down and they will prosecute them, that's also a message that they want out there that we want to put out as well, because I don't think anyone wants to see something like this happen and their schools being closed because of somebody just making a threat. We're live here in Pontiac at Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
Well, it's also giving the green light to anybody who hears or sees someone making a threat to report it, but also for those that are considering making a threat to understand the charges that they could face, and hopefully will discourage them from doing so.
Right, and the idea that kids of a certain age, their brains aren't done developing and they take risks that they don't understand the implications, what could happen, lifelong implications in this case.
Absolutely.
So
it certainly can be life-altering for these kids making the threats. All right, Nick, thank you. And this week, students are going to be returning down in Parkland, Florida, to that Stoneman Douglas High School where 17 of their classmates and staff members were killed in that mass shooting. Survivors returned on Sunday for the first time. That was just for a voluntary campus orientation. This comes as the Florida Governor, Rick Scott, is calling for an independent investigation into the police department's response to that shooting. The Sheriff's Department has already been under fire after reports came out that several deputies never went inside of the school during those moments that gunman opened fire.
At this point, I have no independent knowledge from video or personal knowledge that any Broward Sheriff's deputy did not go in when they should have.
Are you saying that the video doesn't show it, or you have not seen it?
I have not seen any video that shows deputies or police officers in any area not going in.
Students in Parkland will officially return to class, but in a separate building on Wednesday on that campus on a modified school schedule. And as the Stoneman Douglas community continues to recover from this mass tragedy, there was this glimmer of hope over the weekend as the school's hockey team really shocked everybody and captured the state championship.
the varsity hockey squad started out as the bottom seed and then proceeded to surprise everyone by winning the title game on Sunday. The players say after the shooting, they weren't even sure they would be allowed to take part in the tournament.
No one was lacking energy in the locker room. We all came to play. We were all ready. This wasn't for us. This was for the 17 victims. We played for them. It was so passionate, so emotional. It's all for them.
The team is now qualified to compete in the High School Hockey National Championship Tournament in late March in Plymouth, Minnesota. New this morning, North Korea says it's willing to open talks with the United States. The country has suggested it does not want conditions on those talks. A statement from the Trump administration says, quote, there is a brighter path available for North Korea if it chooses denuclearization. South Korea's president says any talks should happen as soon as possible.
We have a Help Me Hank alert for you this morning, and it has to do with Zeal Credit Union that is alerting customers after receiving several reports of ATM fraud. The credit union urges all customers to check your bank accounts for any discrepancies, and if you notice any issues, you should contact Zeal after 9 o'clock this morning. If you see any issues of fraud regarding your debit card, Zeal says that you should contact Visa using the number on the back of your card and cancel that card immediately. Coming up, doing away with diesel. One of the Detroit's big three planning to drop diesel from its car lineup.
But first, a historic run, another Winter Olympics in the books, and Team USA bringing home plenty of reasons to celebrate, including some unexpected victories. That's next.
Tonight at 10.
Good Monday morning. I don't know about you, but I got my SEV notice from my local township just the other day. It looks high to me, and so I want to appeal that. Well, how do you appeal that? Well, you take it to the tax tribunal. Well, if you've never done that, you don't know the right answer. So you're looking for perhaps a guide on how to do this. Well, I'm holding it right here. This is the new Michigan State Tax Guide. And this thing is amazing. It has some great information for it, and it will teach you how to go and appeal your SEV. But it covers so much more. Income tax, property taxes, it has tax credits, important property tax dates and deadlines. It also has copies of the most commonly used tax forms. So if you have any question at all about your Michigan state taxes, which, by the way, do not change as a result of the federal tax law, this is where you want to go. I have a link to this on my website. Money Monday. Click on Detroit.com.
You're sleepless?
The cauldron has been extinguished. There it was right there. And the torch passed on to Beijing, China, which hosts the next Winter Olympics in 2022. But last night, Pyeongchang put on a party for all the athletes before they said farewell. The last night of the 23rd Winter Olympics was a fireworks-filled event celebrating the athletes, including likely last-time Olympian Lindsey Vonn and the shirtless Tongan cross-country skier. Millions watching all over the world got a taste of one of the host country's biggest cultural exports, K-pop. In Pyeongchang, the U.S. won its 100th Winter Olympics gold medal. First ever golds in cross country.
And it is Jesse Diggins!
Curling. And the end of a 20-year gold medal drought in women's ice hockey. But no matter what the medal color or any medal at all, we'll all remember Pyeongchang for the moments that made us cry and cheer for the best in the world. The U.S. won 23 medals in the games. The most medals were taken home by Norway, 39, the tally there. Now the U.S. will have another opportunity to score some more medals when the Paralympics get underway. Those games begin on March 8th.
And as we round out Black History Month, today in Black History, we celebrate Martha Jean the Queen Steinberg. She was an influential radio broadcaster and later was the pastor of her own church. During Detroit's 1967 riot, she remained on the air for 48 straight hours, telling listeners to stay off the streets. She had a 46-year career and was a member of the Black Radio Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 1997, she brought station WQBH. She passed away in 2000. It is 6:15. We should mention Kim DeJulio has the day off, doing a little vacation time.
Yeah. And Jason's just coming back, and I'm just looking.
Here we are, holding it down.
I'm looking at my future, and I got a whole lot of nothing coming up. So
at least the temperatures are mild.
I'll tell you what, we have really enjoyed this month. It's been really nice the last couple of weeks, very pleasant. I know some of you dealing with some flood issues would disagree, but it was just that terrible timing of a big snow melt and plenty of fresh rain. In the meantime, we have a beautiful stretch here for the end of February. Very unusual warm stretch. 7:13 a.m. for our sunrise today. Our sun sets later today at 6:20 p.m. Here's a look at our 4-zone temperatures. You can subtract about 5 degrees from these numbers for the wind chill or the feels like, but the numbers are good. We should be in the lower 20s instead. 28 in our metro zone at Metro Airport, 31 in Howell, 32 in Lapeer in our north zone, and Monroe 31 in our south zone. Numbers quickly bump up to 46 at noon, so we're packing the sunglasses today. We have a coat with some gloves, knowing we can shake loose of the gloves at some point this morning, and even the jacket on the lighter side. How about 51 this afternoon? Plenty of sunshine all day. We see clear skies out there on this early Monday right now. All of the heavy wet weather well south and east of us. There are a couple of systems coming out of the Pacific and the Pacific Northwest that we're watching for later in the week, but really not a lot of problems today. Sunshine galore, low 50s in most of your neighborhoods. Tomorrow, I think we see a decent amount of 60s with sunshine, upper 50s to low 60s, a little on the breezy side. May get a spotty midday or afternoon shower on Wednesday, but still in the 50s, and most of the day is dry. But Thursday, a different story. Looks like mainly, again, rain, middle 40s, and a decent swath of rain most of the day. Your Hanson's weather window, you know where this is. This is on Woodward up near 14 Mile, and it's the Shrine of the Little Flower. Not the big flower, Jason. That's the Little Flower Shrine.
We have a construction map to show you here on traffic. Eastbound, westbound 94, the on and off ramps at Gratiot will close at 7 o'clock and last until mid-November. You're going to want to use French Road or Van Dyke instead if this is your commute. And now Sky 4 over I-75, 696. Traffic starting to pick up there in volume, but appears to be moving smoothly. Rhonda?
All right, sounds good. In today's consumer headlines, Black Panther continues to break records at the box office. Plus, Samsung has unveiled the new Galaxy smartphone. We'll take a look at that. But first, it looks like Fiat Chrysler is ready to say goodbye to diesel technology. Let's get to Maribel Aber. She joins us now live at NASDAQ with more. Happy Monday.
Hey, we start here. Good morning, Rhonda. Fiat Chrysler dropping diesel passenger cars maybe by 2022. This is according to the Financial Times, but the automaker is expected to continue to offer diesel options in some SUVs and trucks in the U.S. Right now, Fiat Chrysler doesn't sell any diesel cars in the U.S. or Canada. Samsung is betting on human emojis. The company's new Galaxy S9 smartphone lets users create 3D emojis of themselves. So you simply take a photo of your face, strike a pose, and the phone's augmented reality software does the rest. Samsung's Galaxy S9 will be available March 16th. The price will be around $720 for the base model. Black Panther ruled the weekend box office again. The movie rang up an estimated $108 million in ticket sales. That makes the Marvel movie just the fourth film to bring in that amount in its second weekend. In its 2 weeks, Black Panther has taken in $400 million in the U.S. alone. Rhonda, it's on my list. I've actually had friends say they've already seen it twice. How about you?
I have friends who said they've seen it 8 times, and I'm with you. I still haven't made it out to the theater yet.
Oh my God.
Definitely will. It's that good. Thanks, Maribel. That human emoji feature sounds cool.
Yeah, I never really got into the whole emoji thing. I use it a little bit.
No? I like the hearts and smiley faces and the celebration,
The
birthday
unicorn,
cakes.
sunshine, rainbows, happy people.
Yes, palm trees.
A quick reminder, McDonald's Szechuan sauce returns today, all due to popular demand. It will be available starting at lunchtime, and I feel bad for the guy who spent like 10 grand on it on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you can get it.
Well, it'll be available at lunchtime. It probably will not be available by dinner.
Still ahead, a pill a day that could keep the weight away. The promising research next in Good Health.
It's also time to say hello to our Facebook friend for today. This is Keller Coleman from Oak Park. He loves photography and watching Local 4. We thank you for that, Keller.
Yeah, we have a $25 gift card to spoil your pets at any one of Premier Pet Supply's many locations in Beverly Hills, Rochester Hills, Livonia, and Novi. If you would like to be our friend of the day, like our Facebook page and click on the tab. Keller, I'm going to guess, took that himself because he knows what he's doing with a camera.
It's a good picture. Welcome back, everybody. We are following some breaking news we want to tell you about out of Ypsilanti. That is where the Lincoln Consolidated Schools are closed for the day today. There are not enough bus drivers to take the kids to school. We're told that this is because of sick calls from those bus drivers. The superintendent says that they're working out a plan for the rest of the week, so we'll keep you updated on information as it comes in. But again, this does impact students in Ypsilanti in the Lincoln Consolidated Schools District. Brandon?
Just a quick check of that Monday forecast. After midwinter break, we're back to work, back to school. 28 degrees right now. Feels like 20 with the wind chill, but it's not a real strong wind. We'll see middle 40s by noon and hoping to get into the low 50s with tons of sun, but stay tuned. Even warmer numbers in the 7-day coming up, guys.
Brandon, thank you. We're off to a good start this morning. Pretty quiet conditions on the area roadways here at 625. If you do travel along the Jeffries, I-96 right at Greenfield, you can see light traffic volumes in the local and express lanes. No accidents to pass along your way.
All right, in Good Health, researchers are developing a pill that can shrink body mass. Experts say it has already proven to work on animals. By studying fat cells, docs found there's a protein inside human bodies keeping the weight on and working against us. The drug could be ready for clinical trials in 2 years. Many patients do not qualify for life-saving operations until they can get to a healthier size. Those are the patients researchers have in mind for this particular drug.
It is 6:26. Next at 6:30, local stories from Pontiac, also Waterford in Detroit.
Plus, Joyride, what a local 11-year-old was caught doing. It'll have you scratching your head.
Yeah, and so will this. How does that happen? As most of us deal with potholes, one community is now dealing with something a lot bigger, a massive sinkholes closing a major roadway, the area that you'll have to avoid. Coming up.
Good morning. The Red Wings won in overtime last night, 3-2 over the Rangers. Now, the trade deadline is later on today. Right now, the Wings are 5 points out of a playoff spot, so we'll have to wait and see what Ken Holland does. College basketball, for the first time since 2009, the Spartans are outright Big Ten regular season champions. They beat Wisconsin yesterday on the road. Second half, it's a tie game when Cassius Winston gets the steal. Kenny Goins throws it down. MSU led at 38-36. Badgers would take the lead with less than 10 to go, but the Spartans turn on the heat. Winston buries the three. He had 20. MSU leads 58-51. Later in the half, Miles Bridges backs down his defender, and he gets this hook shot to go. He had 10. MSU wins it 68-63 for the title. Postgame, Tom Izzo was asked about Miles Bridges.
When we thought that there was a good chance Miles would not play, that was hard on Miles, but it was hard on our team. These guys are as close as you've heard about, and when you have that, it's like a family member. And so, you know, it was great that we had the opportunity to play him, and I think fair and right.
All right, so the Spartans now head to New York for the Big Ten tournament. They are the 1 seed. They get a double bye, and Michigan, by the way, is a 5 seed. That's it for sports. Have a great day.
What does it mean to be
live from downtown Detroit? Local 4 News Today at 6:30 starts now.
Vaccine fight. Both mom and dad say that they want what's best when it comes to vaccinating their daughter, but disagree on what that means. And now a judge will decide.
Plus, Michigan State basketball coach Tom Izzo speaking out after his team and his star player are named in a report that details corruption in college basketball. Brandon?
A beautiful Monday forecast as we're starting to get warmer at the end of February, and wet weather-wise, I'll tell you what, a big swath of moisture out here, zero impact on us, and then this mountain snow is heading north. We have 60s in the forecast for you.
We like that. Feeling spring-like around here, Brandon. We'll get back to you in just a moment, but we do want to update parents and students out of Ypsilanti this morning with breaking news we're following.
That's where Lincoln Consolidated Schools are closed for today because there are not enough drivers to take students to school because of a sick out from the bus drivers. The superintendent says they're working out a plan for the rest of the week, and we will keep you posted as new information comes in.
And we have Brandon here to keep us posted on just when we will see that 60-degree reading on the thermometer.
I'm telling you, if we can just make it to St. Patrick's Day, March Madness,
yes.
My favorite time of year.
Yes.
The Masters not far behind that, opening
yes.
day.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. We're getting close, Brandon.
Well, now, all right. Just let's enjoy the next couple of days, because I already looked ahead to March, and you might not like.
No.
We'll see. We'll see. It's my birth month and my favorite month as well, and it's a transition month, but let's just enjoy the end of February here because it's looking good. 28 degrees. We do have this little south wind at 8, so the wind chill is 20. At least that's what it feels like. And then for the day today, we're recommending the sunglasses. If you wear sunglasses like that, maybe you're not so cool, but that was as good as I had there. 31 at 8 a.m. and 46 already by noontime. Warm air moving in. 51 today. We teased the 60s. Don't have them today, but they are coming. We have dry skies, clear skies all day today, tons of sunshine, and tomorrow the winds are really going to start whipping in here from the south. So again, we are tracking 60 degrees for your Tuesday, and we will see some wet weather toward the end of the week. We'll take a closer look at that and the shift back to winter perhaps as we head into March. Jason, coming up?
Yeah, Debbie Downer. All right, exit map to look at here. We have northbound Gratiot at M59. The right lane is blocked there, be advised. And then Sky 4 is over the 696, 275, 96 area. And it would appear that we have smooth sailing, although the signal loss has been detected. So sorry.
All right. Thank you, Jason. 6:33 is your time. Well, her father wants it done. Her mother disagrees. And while both claim to know what's best for their 2-year-old daughter, a judge may ultimately make the decision for them. The debate is over whether or not to have this child vaccinated. Local 4's Nick Monticelli joins us now in Pontiac, where the parents will be back in court today, and a judge has a tough decision.
It's an evidentiary hearing, Rhonda. Good morning to you. And it's a decision that's not going to be made today. This is certainly going to be a process. But Mrs. Matheson does not want the vaccination. Mr. Smith does want the vaccination. Schmidt, I should say. It really is going to boil down to not necessarily what is right for the child, but who has more rights in the case. The controversial vaccination case in Oakland County will continue this morning. Lori Matheson is fighting her ex-husband, Michael Schmidt, for the right to decide if their 2-year-old daughter should be vaccinated. Matheson does not want their child to get the vaccines.
When I started reading them, that's when I found out that there are some vaccinations that are cultured in aborted fetal cells.
Schmidt, though, does not agree and wants the court to order vaccinations for their daughter.
The vaccinations are strongly recommended on both of those forms by CDC, by American Academy of Pediatrics, basically every credible doctor.
And the last time he was in court, he mentioned how he never imagined this fight would play out here.
Never in a million years. Yeah, never at all. We agreed on vaccinations and arbitration, like it should have been settled. The motion that I filed was just to enforce what was already settled. So here we are a year later.
Michigan is one of 17 states that allows for exemptions from vaccines based on religious beliefs. Matheson is citing those religious beliefs, but her ex-husband does not believe any of that. So today, the hearing will continue. And when I say the judge isn't necessarily deciding what's best for the child, that's because the judge likely isn't going to be deciding what vaccination should or not be given. It's more about the religious beliefs, about the parental rights. Those are the factors that this judge will likely be examining. We're live here in Pontiac. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
We'll continue to monitor the developments. Nick, thank you. We do also want to keep you updated on other stories that we're following for you across Metro Detroit this morning.
Those include stories out of Waterford and Pontiac, but first we go to Oxford, where a sinkhole there just keeps getting bigger. Listen. That was the asphalt collapsing into that pool of muddy water, a sinkhole developing, wood trail near Watersmere Drive in Oxford. The hole started forming early Saturday morning and has caused many problems for residents in that area. Crews continue to work around the clock to prevent further damage.
Right now, all we're doing is trying to pump the water over the road to manage the water. Everything's flooded right now. We have 3 6-inch pumps running. They're setting up an 8-inch pump, and there's a 12-inch pump on the way.
Obviously, heavy downpours and snow melt leading to flooding said to be what caused the sinkhole to form in the first place. Later today, county officials are expected to meet to discuss a repair plan and just how long they expect that roadway to be closed.
Over in Pontiac, a boy only 11 years old accused of stealing and driving a rental car. The car was stolen on Tuesday on Lancaster Lane near University Drive there in Pontiac. A man told deputies that his rental car was missing and thought that he left the keys in the ignition. An hour later, he called 911 to report that he found the person driving the rental car and had blocked it from moving. The driver took off running. Deputies found the 11-year-old nearby and he was taken into custody. Over in Waterford, several families have lost their homes after an apartment complex catches fire. This unfolded on Sunday at the Lake Tree Apartments near Elizabeth Lake in Highland. Crews rescued several people from the fire, and 2 people had to escape by jumping from the second-story balcony. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Michigan State basketball coach Tom Izzo needed some good news and got it over the weekend. On Sunday, the Spartans won the Big Ten regular season championship, and their star Miles Bridges was in the lineup, cleared by the NCAA after accusations a sports agent had provided cash to his family. MSU basketball has endured a week of speculation and accusation, with Miles Bridges' name surfacing as part of a broad investigation into corruption.
That was hard on Miles, but it was hard on our team. These guys are as close as you've heard about, and when you have that, it's like a family member.
The Department of Justice is pursuing criminal cases against nearly 24 high-profile college basketball programs. Arizona coach Sean Miller is at the center of it.
It's up to Arizona to decide what to do about Sean Miller.
Miller allegedly captured on an FBI wiretap discussing a $100,000 bribe to ensure a star recruit signed with Arizona. At Michigan State, a runner for a sports agent claimed to have withdrawn $400 from an ATM to give to Bridges' mother. Bridges says neither he nor anyone in his family has taken money from an agent. Saturday, Bridges found out that he was cleared by the NCAA and able to play in Sunday's Big Ten clinching win over Wisconsin.
It was great that we had the opportunity to play him, and I think fair and right.
To say this has been a stressful time at Michigan State would certainly be an understatement. Coach Izzo says young athletes should not have to deal with this kind of stress.
A coach has got to be able to deal with adversity, but players at 20 don't have to do that. And it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks, but at the same time, I'm just so proud of what they've accomplished and what they did.
Coach Izzo says his team is ready to move forward, focusing on just basketball. The Spartans are the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, and that starts on Wednesday.
In fact, they were looked at before the season even started as a championship team, so they're taking care of business.
Hopefully they can put on one of their patented runs.
You better believe it. Time now at 6:40 and still ahead. This horse, now an accomplice in a crime? What happened on a California freeway?
But first, a miracle. After a dangerous and deadly storm tears through the middle of the country, what was found under a home that surprised rescuers and left the house in rubble, and they just couldn't believe what they pulled out of there. Stay tuned.
Skyports.
Welcome back, everybody. 4 people are confirmed dead after an explosion tears through a northern London neighborhood. Residents are saying that they heard what sounded like an earthquake at the time of the blast. 4 others remain hospitalized this morning. 1 is said to be seriously injured. At this time, police say that there is no indication the explosion was terrorist-related. The investigation into the cause of the blast continues.
New this morning, we've learned the New York movie studio, co-founded by Harvey Weinstein and his brother, set to file for bankruptcy after new reports say talks to sell the assets there collapsed nearly 2 weeks ago. This was the same time the New York Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit against the company. Weinstein is currently facing allegations of sexual abuse, including rape. The new suit alleges Weinstein sexually harassed women employed at the studio for years. And weekend flooding continues to cause big problems throughout the Midwest.
Oh, it certainly does. Check out the flooding and the damage here in Indiana. Areas near the Yellow and Kankakee rivers are underwater. 11 counties in Indiana have been placed under a disaster emergency. State officials are warning residents to evacuate their homes and go to shelters in certain areas. And the same storm system also impacted Middle Tennessee. At least 3 people were hurt and several homes destroyed by a tornado in Clarksville. Emergency personnel went door to door trying to find anyone who may have needed help. People helping with the cleanup were also able to rescue this dog that had been trapped in debris since the night before. He did not even have a scratch on him.
Nice pooch. Good to see.
Yes, it certainly
coming out of the rubble there.
We didn't have a bad weekend. Kind of a dry one around here.
Yeah, it was very nice. We hit 50 yesterday. I think we're going to beat it just a little bit today. And it's a little unusual, guys, the end of February here, where we've got numbers that are 15 degrees above average, or as Rod Maloney says, normal. He doesn't really, but he's from that Providence, Boston area. Take a look at our local 4 storm pinner here, A2 Queen Catcher, who is showing us the River Raisin over the weekend. Things Not necessarily getting worse, but not getting better here. You can see the flooded banks of the mighty River Raisin down in the Monroe area. Thanks for the Local 4 Storm Pin. You can get the Storm Pins app for absolutely free. Just search WDIV. Let's take a look at some of the numbers out there. The wind chills are on the bottom gold bar here, but air temps are in the middle 20s to near 30. It is 28 at Metro, 26 Ann Arbor, 30 in Pontiac, 29 in Adrian. But again, it does feel a little bit cooler, so the kids need the jackets. Grab the shades as you're heading out as well. The sun coming up just after 7, and it will be blasting all day, getting us into the low 50s for the most part. But by 3 o'clock, as the kids are getting off the bus, or some are walking home from middle school, high school, we'll be in that 50-degree range with nothing really to show you here. Wet weather south, and that's rain. We have snow coming out of the Rocky Mountains, but high pressure is going to control our weather for the next couple of days. Nothing to stop the sunshine today and tomorrow. I think we hit 60-ish, maybe some low 60s in your neighborhoods on Tuesday. Another sunny day. The winds do start cranking tomorrow afternoon, maybe gusting upwards of 30 or stronger. Wednesday, we do have an afternoon shower chance, very limited, and most of us don't see that, but upper 50s to low 60s Tuesday, middle 50s on Wednesday with increasing clouds. Our wet day of the week, guys, will be on Thursday. Rain showers, middle 40s, that goes away Friday morning, Rhonda. All right, Brandon, we do want to keep you updated on the roads. Kim DeGiulio has the day off today, and there you see our first accident of the morning. It's along Gratiot for northbound drivers. It's on the northbound side at M59, and the right lane is blocked in that area, so watch out for delays there. Sky 4 is a little bit west of that area along I-75 right at the M59 interchange. And as you can see, traffic volumes are steady and moving along at posted speeds this morning. So this was a wild scene in California as a 29-year-old man was spotted riding a horse on Long Beach Highway.
The State Highway Patrol tweeted out these pictures after they caught up to Luis Perez along the freeway. Perez is said to have had a blood alcohol level of nearly twice the legal limit. Luckily, no one was hurt in the incident. Perez is being held on more than $50,000 bail. Police released the horse to Perez's mother, who was called to the scene.
So you cannot drive drunk, and you can't ride your horse on a freeway drunk either.
RWIL, riding while intoxicated. I don't know. The Olympics may have come to a close last night, but The Voice is just heating up on NBC.
Yeah, so keep it right here on Local 4 tonight. The new set this season includes Kelly Clarkson. She will join Adam Blake and Alicia Keys as the coaches this year.
I'm Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. It's pretty scary walking into
Forcing country music. This is my job.
Oh, it's going to be exciting having her on. The competition gets underway tonight with a blind audition, and Clarkson says it's one thing to be a guest mentor on The Voice, but becoming a coach is totally different.
What was it like for you sitting in that chair listening?
I completely freaked out like the first 6 people. And everybody was like, you need to calm down. I was like, because I didn't want to mess up and not pick someone. Blake was next to me going like, you need somebody put some alcohol in her tea.
It's a lot of pressure. You hold someone's whole career in your hands. You can watch Clarkson make her debut as a coach on The Voice season 14 premiere tonight at 8 right here on Local 4.
Yeah, I could never be the bad guy on one of those shows.
I know.
For me, it's a hard pass.
I know, it's tough though. When they have to, once they bring them on your team, then you got to one by one let them go or have them battle against each other. It's awful.
Only a few days left in February, and that means it's time to dust off your favorite children's book.
That's right, because March is just a few days away, and it's reading month. And like we've been doing for years now, our Local 4 team will once again be heading out to your child's school to read some books. So submit for a chance on the community page at clickondetroit.com if you'd like us to visit your school. You can also send us photos of your kids reading, and we may even share some of those photos on the air throughout the month of March.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we're looking forward to visiting your school, so make sure that you send us those requests. And we'll be right back with today's stories to watch for. But first, a peek at what we're working on for tomorrow morning.
It's fresh, it's authentic, it's Mexican food done right. We'll take you to a delicioso downriver Mexican spot for Tasty Tuesday. That's tomorrow at 6 a.m. We will be right back.
Announcing.
We are following breaking news out of Ypsilanti. Lincoln Consolidated Schools closed for today because there aren't enough drivers to take kids to school. This is because of sick calls from those bus drivers. The superintendent says they're working on a plan for the rest of the week, and we'll keep you updated as new information comes in.
We're also working on breaking news out of Detroit's west side. A 28-year-old man was killed in this single car crash on Joy Road. That car lost control and slammed right into a building before rolling over on its hood. The cause is still being investigated.
And in today's stories to watch for, a 14-year-old student from Whiteford High School in Monroe will be in court. He's accused of making terroristic threats toward his school and making threatening gestures inside the classroom.
And they are calling it the Rally in Tally for gun reform. A large crowd expected today in Tallahassee, Florida, the state's capital. They are demanding new gun control laws from lawmakers. Students rallied here last week after the school shooting that claimed 17 students and staff.
And a controversial vaccination case returns to a Pontiac courtroom today. Lori Matheson is fighting her ex-husband, Michael Schmidt, for the right to decide if their 2-year-old daughter should be vaccinated. Matheson is citing religious beliefs, and her ex-husband does not agree.
North Korea says that it is willing to open talks with the United States. The country has suggested it does not want conditions on these talks. A statement from the Trump administration says, quote, there is a brighter path available for North Korea if it chooses denuclearization.
Pothole work will begin on 696 at 7 a.m. from DeQuinder to Mound. The right 2 lanes will be closed until 7 p.m. The 11-mile ramp onto eastbound 696 will close at 7:30 this morning. On southbound 75, the right 2 lanes from Adams to Long Lake will be closed starting at 7, and the southbound ramp from Crooks will also be closed.
All right, a check of your weather and traffic here before we push you on to the Today Show. And I don't know that we want to go there. Let's stay here. What a beautiful shot, our Detroit River. 29 degrees with a feels like or wind chill of 22. That's the worst part of it. It's just a little cool this morning, but skies are clear. High pressure building in, keeping us very stable today, tomorrow. Temperatures building even more tomorrow as the winds will be cranking out of the south and bring our numbers closer to 60. In the meantime, we should hit 51 with tons of sun. We do need a jacket this morning, maybe some gloves, but grab the shades as we go from low 50s today to near 60 degrees tomorrow. And on Wednesday, middle 50s, still looking pretty good, but Thursday does bring our best chance for widespread rain.
Now let's take a look at northbound Gratiot at M59. We have the right lane blocked, so if that is your normal route, be advised and seek an alternate route.
Otherwise, it's been a pretty quiet commute so far this morning.
Yeah, back to work, back to school for everybody.
Yes, not always easy on a Monday morning, but hopefully the mild temperatures will help. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We're back in 25 minutes with a news update.
The Today Show is coming up, and remember, Local 4 News and weather powered up 24 hours a day at clickondetroit.com.
Have a great day.
60, you said.
Yeah.